The Nightmare Before Christmas is a family horror film, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why in under 5 minutes. The first reason is due to atmosphere and tone. This is a film that really relies heavily on the tone that it's crafting. It's very dark, it's very ominous, it's very goth. These things really represent kind of horror in that type of way. Horror movies are known to be darker. They're supposed to be, you know, a tone that is very more overtly creepy, and there's like the macabre about it. And that to me really kind of fits in the mold of what this movie actually is. And because of this dark tone and this dark atmosphere, this movie has the makings of a horror film. Number 2 is the imagery. This has some very scary and haunting imagery, from the character designs to the looks of the scenery behind the characters. The backgrounds are very creepy in scope and scale. And I think the most important thing, like I said earlier, was the characters. The characters in this movie are really creepy. You have Jack Skellington. He's a long skeleton, okay? Very creepy. You have Sally, a doll, basically a rag doll. She's creepy. You have Dr. Finkelstein, my favorite character, who is haunting. He could give kids nightmares. This is a movie that has very creepy imagery that if a kid watched this film, they could truly be creeped out by it. They could think of it as a scary movie. And that's one reason why I always loved this movie as a kid, because of the imagery. I always found myself fascinated because I was, in a way, scared or felt some type of feeling of suspense from such a young age because of these character designs that I just ate it up and I loved it. The third reason is actually going to be the macabre, the unknown. Horror films are known to being very macabre, very unknown. A lot is not kind of overtly said or overtly shown. This movie does a really good job of adding subtlety when subtlety is needed. Granted, it has this this message of you can try your best at being something that you're just truly not. You know, it's important to really kind of hone in on your skills and the things that you can do. And that's kind of the lesson that Jack learns throughout this film, is he wants to break the mold. He wants to do something different, but it doesn't really suit him. It doesn't really suit his best qualities, and it ends up leaving, you know, chaos as opposed to joy, which was what he was going for. So the macabre, the unknown, very scary. And that's the great thing about horror films that work effectively, is when you really don't know the future of these characters or the events that they take place within. The fourth reason is because this movie takes something as innocent and as pure as Christmas. Christmas is a joyous occasion. You're around family, you're around friends. There's always a traditional thing when it comes to Christmas. This movie breaks that tradition and instead injects some very scary situations for innocent characters. You know, these kids waking up on Christmas Day, and instead of finding the newest toy, they're finding dead, like, zombie heads. They're finding these vampire toys that basically want to kill you. These are things that are really kind of creepy, and it takes the innocence away from the Christmas holiday, which this holiday we know is to being more charitable. It's supposed to be a holiday in which you surround yourself with loving care and kind of a nurturing familiarity, and this movie takes that away and strips these characters from that, and it makes it truly devastating. The last point, this is my most out there point. The whole video is out there, but this one's the most out there, and you have to take this with the grainiest of grain of salt ever. This is such a small, incremental grain of salt. Oogie Boogie represents satanic worship. That's right! He's a pagan god. He is a pagan god. The henchmen, the trick-or-treaters, the kids, they look up to Oogie Boogie in a way that is very much in comparison to kind of cult or to kind of pagan deity type of efforts. And anything that deals with a pagan entity, that's scary. That is horror. But again, take it with the grainiest of grain of salt. This one is the most out there point, but I just kind of figured, like, for fun, I'll just throw this in there. Anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts on these 5 points that I brought up. Do you have any other ones that you'd like to address? Let me know in the comments of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.